Have you ever woken up, checked your fasting blood sugar, and felt a wave of frustration? You ate early the night before. You skipped snacks. You did everything by the book, and yet your morning blood sugar is alarmingly high. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone and it's not your fault. Welcome to Senior Life Joy and Wellness, your trusted space for healthy living, joyful aging, and thriving after 50. Today, I want to share a story that could change the way you manage diabetes forever. It's the journey of Mr. Thomas, a 70-year-old man from Washington, USA, who battled years of morning blood sugar spikes until he discovered the golden breakfast secret. His story will show you that the right breakfast can be the most powerful medicine, stronger than pills alone, in stabilizing blood sugar and restoring energy. Thomas had lived with type 2 diabetes for over a decade. He was disciplined: no late-night snacks, early dinners, regular glucose checks. Every morning, he carefully pricked his finger, hoping for a number in the safe range. But the meter always seemed to betray him: 140, 150. Sometimes even 160 milligrams, DL, despite fasting all night. He sat at the kitchen table, staring at the tiny digital screen, asking himself, why is my body punishing me when I've been so strict? The truth was something he had never been told clearly. Thomas was experiencing the dawn phenomenon. The human body is like an orchestra, and before we wake, it begins playing a morning overture. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline surge. Growth hormone levels rise. These signals tell the liver to release stored sugar into the bloodstream, preparing the body with energy to face the new day. For healthy individuals, insulin quickly balances the sugar surge. But for diabetics, especially those with insulin resistance, the surge becomes an uncontrolled spike. And like millions of others, Thomas unknowingly made it worse. His breakfast cereal, toast, sometimes orange juice, was the exact fuel that turned the dawn sugar surge into a blood sugar explosion. Frustration turned to fear when Thomas's doctor warned him that uncontrolled morning spikes were accelerating his risk of complications: heart disease, kidney problems, even cognitive decline. That's when his daughter encouraged him to see Dr. Emily, a renowned endocrinologist who specialized in diabetes care for seniors. Instead of just adjusting medication, she gave Thomas a new perspective. Your breakfast isn't just food, it's information for your body. Change the information, and you change the outcome. She handed him a plan called the 3 Golden Rules of the Blood Sugar Lowering Breakfast. It wasn't about giving up food, it was about eating in the right sequence, with the right timing, and with the right mindset. Golden Rule number 1. The 30-30-30. Timing formula. Dr. Emily explained the first secret. How you start your morning dictates your entire day. 30 grams of protein, 30 minutes of movement. Breakfast within 30 minutes of waking. At first, Thomas was skeptical. But as Dr. Emily explained the science, it clicked. Protein and fat before carbs. The small intestine processes food like an assembly line. When protein and fat enter first, they coat the intestinal lining, slowing down how quickly carbohydrates are digested into glucose. This means a slower, steadier rise in blood sugar. 30 minutes of light movement, walking or stretching right after waking, primes the muscles to use glucose more effectively. Muscles act like sponges, soaking up excess sugar, reducing insulin resistance. Breakfast within 30 minutes of waking. Since the dawn phenomenon is already pushing sugar into the bloodstream, delaying food only worsens the surge. Eating within that 30-minute window intervenes just in time to stabilize the spike. Thomas tried it the next morning. Instead of toast and juice, Anya prepared scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado. He took a light walk with his wife for 30 minutes, then sat down to eat. The results shocked him. His post-breakfast glucose dropped 30 points lower than usual. For the first time, he felt hope. Golden Rule number 2. Never eat naked carbs. The second rule struck Thomas like a lightning bolt. Carbs are not the enemy, but naked carbs are, Dr. Emily explained. Refined carbs like white bread, sugary cereal, or fruit juice are naked. They enter your bloodstream almost instantly, spiking sugar and crashing your energy. But when you dress them in fiber and healthy fats, you transform them from enemies into allies. So Thomas began to armor his carbs. Instead of sugary cereal gifts, he ate overnight oats with chia seeds. Instead of plain fruit gifts, he paired berries with a handful of walnuts. Instead of buttered toast gifts, he tried whole grain bread topped with avocado. Even small details mattered. A teaspoon of cinnamon added to oats not only flavored his meal but also increased insulin sensitivity. He noticed something remarkable. Not only did his blood sugar stop spiking, but he also stayed full until lunch. The mid-morning crash that had haunted him for years was gone. Golden rule number 3. Track and synchronize with emotions. The third rule was the most surprising, not about food, but about feelings. Thomas started using a blood sugar monitoring app. At first, he only logged his readings. But Dr. Emily asked him to also log his emotional state. Did he feel stressed? Did he sleep well? Did he wake up anxious? Within weeks, patterns emerged. On nights he slept poorly, his fasting sugar was often 20 points higher. On stressful mornings, his sugar rose even if he ate the same food. Anya joined him in this journey. Together, they made a pact. Never judge the numbers. A high reading was not a failure, it was information. They treated diabetes like a science experiment, not a punishment. This emotional synchronization changed everything. Breakfast became a ritual of peace instead of pressure. 6 months later, the results were undeniable. Thomas's HbA1c dropped dramatically. His doctor reduced his medication dosage. More importantly, Thomas felt alive again. He no longer feared mornings. Instead, he looked forward to his golden breakfast routine. 7 a.m. gives 30 minutes of light walking with Anya. 7:30 a.m. gives a plate of scrambled eggs, spinach, avocado, and a side of overnight oats with almond butter. A sprinkle of cinnamon, a cup of green tea, and a smile of confidence. Diabetes no longer controlled his mornings, he did. Thomas's story proves one simple truth. Diabetes is not a life sentence, it is a challenge you can manage with knowledge, discipline, and love. The biggest mistake isn't eating carbs, it's eating them naked. The danger isn't fasting, it's ignoring the dawn phenomenon. And the true medicine isn't found only in pills, it's in your daily habits, your breakfast choices, and the way you respond to stress. Now, the question is yours. Which golden rule will you start tomorrow? Will you try the 30-30-30 timing formula? Will you put armor on your carbs? Will you begin tracking your sugar and your emotions together? Start with 1. Test it. Feel the difference. And remember, every change is a step toward freedom. If Thomas could transform his mornings after 10 years of struggle, so can you? So tomorrow morning, when you wake, don't just eat breakfast, choose your medicine, your stability, your freedom. If this story inspired you, please hit like to share the message and subscribe to Senior Life Joy and Wellness for more powerful lessons to help you thrive in your golden years. Together, we can live stronger, healthier, and happier.